I've recently started standing on one foot every day, and I do this while brushing my teeth. Now, some people think I'm odd, and they wouldn't be the first ones, but I'm doing this for a very good reason. It's because I'm trying to grow old gracefully. You see, I'm 62 years old, so when I go to the doctor now, they ask questions like, have you fallen in the last year? So that means I've got to be super disciplined about my exercise. I need to do my cardio, I need to do my weightlifting, and I need to do my balancing. When it comes to cardio, I find the secret is doing something that I love at the same time. And I love being outside. So I can jump on my bike, I can pedal through the parks or along the shore, and it is heaven. I feel like one with nature. But it only works if the weather's nice. And when I used to live up north in New York, or worse in Minnesota, I only bike like 6 or 7 months a year. So coming down here, I love the warm winters of Miami. Nothing is better. But I've learned that there is a downside to these warm winters. One time I was biking back from Key Biscayne, and I saw that beautiful view of Miami across the bay. You know, the one where it like glistens against the water? And I thought, I've got to take a picture of that. So I got off my bike and I walked all the way up to the edge of the shore through some tall grass to get the perfect viewpoint. And as I'm doing this, I started to hear something rustle in the tall grass. And we're not talking like little squirrel rustle or a little bird. This is like a lot of rustling. So I turn and look, and there's this giant thing like the size of a German shepherd, and it's green. And I just moved down here, and I'm like, what is this thing? And then it starts running right at me. And it's like some robot thing with these twirling legs on it, you know, like a propeller on an airplane. And I become catatonic. I'm like, ah! And at the last minute, thank God, it darts and goes to some other huge stand of grass. So I'm starting to breathe again, and I look at it and I'm like, I think I just met my first giant green Miami iguana. So I tell this to my friends from Miami, and I am shocked, because they're all like poo-pooing it. They're like, oh, you know, there's no way the iguanas are that big. And I'm like, the iguanas are that big. Like, I saw one. And I even Googled it, and it's like, yes, some iguanas grow taller than German shepherds here. I also learned that when I would tell my friends this, they poo-poo it like, you don't have to worry. They're not going to hurt you. And I will tell you what, there's nobody in this audience here that's ever going to convince me to walk through the tall grass in Miami again. So that's why with my second exercise, with my weightlifting, I always take an Uber or a Lyft to the gym. So no worries about iguanas, but as a gringo, I've got a different worry. So you may have heard that in Miami-Dade County, the Census Bureau says 66% of households speak Spanish at home. Super cool, but it also means that probably 96% of the Ubers and Lyfts speak Spanish. So when I'm in there and I know my like 20 words of Spanish, it's always a trick communicating with them. Now for me, my special request is often, if I'm close to the gym, I want to get out just a little bit earlier so I can walk the last mile and get some exercise. So my go-to word is aquí. Spanish for here. I find that when I say this to some of the drivers, I'll go aquí, and then they'll respond something like ¿qué? And because I don't almost know Spanish, I'm like, did they just say okay? Or did they use that Spanish word for why or what, or like, what's going on here? And by the time I'm trying to use Google Translate, I'm at the gym and I can't walk. So if anybody here knows of a Spanish class, where you can teach 20 words to Uber drivers in Miami, please tell me, because I'm going to sign up. But that brings me back to my last exercise, the balancing. So the reason that I started brushing my teeth while I was balancing is because I wanted to strengthen all those tendons and ligaments and joints. And I just never got around to it. But by tapping it into my toothbrushing, I never, ever forgot. So I guess now that I'm down in Miami, I have become a flamingo of sorts. So you'll see I'm wearing my pink. So thank you all.